morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I want to talk about one of the best decks in the format, and I want to talk about how we're going to go about playing it once Rebel Clash is legal for tournament play. Now, Baby Blacephalon is a deck that I really tried to ignore. I tried to pretend that it wasn't a good deck. I tried to pretend that it was overblown and overhyped and just not as good as everyone else made it out to be. The problem is people keep proving me wrong, and that's a bit of a pain. It went and got 11th place at the Oceania International Championships, along with all of the supposed actual good decks. At the SPE in Santiago, which was the last of the tournaments, the bigger tournaments, before they all got cancelled. Half of the top cut was Baby Blacephalon. Seems to have a decent matchup against Zacian and ADP, and to put it bluntly, right, it's a good deck, and I need to stop pretending it's not a good deck. So, let's have a gander at how we play it, shall we? Obviously, we start off with Baby Blacephalon itself, and this is a pretty good deck. Now, the first attack is nothing really to write home about. It's, shall we say, not particularly spectacular. For 1 fire energy, you do 10 damage, and you turn one of your face down prize cards face up, and if heads, you do 60 damage. It's alright in an emergency, and you get to see what your prize card is, and you might take out some little baby Pokemon, but let's be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not terribly stunning. Nope. What is far better is 3 fire energy, and you discard as many fire energy cards as you like from your hand, and do 50 damage for each card discarded in this way. And I usually thought that this was not good enough, and you needed free energy on Blacephalon, and you needed a bunch of energy in your hand in order to discard. No, it's just good. It's just proven to be good. So, okay. We don't need to really talk about whether it is or is not a good attack. It's been proven to be a good attack. So yeah. The whole deck is really built around just maximizing that attack, getting the energy onto Blacephalon, but also making sure that we've got enough energy in our hand so that we are able to actually discard them all and do enough damage. Cool. Now, in terms of other Pokemon we're playing here, it's just a whole bunch of stuff to support this. We're playing 3 copies of Jirachi. That's the one whereby you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, put a trainer card in your hand, and you go to sleep. But you can use a skateboard to give yourself free retreat even though you're asleep. Let's just say this isn't the first time we've ever seen Jirachi. It's just good for consistency, getting set up, finding your trainers, etc. Good work, Jirachi. We do play a 1-1 line of Ninetales here because it's gusting. You discard 2 fire energy cards from your hand, you get to gust one of your opponent's Pokemon into the active from the bench. No, it's not perfect because we really want all our fire energy in our hand so that we can go ahead and discard them to do extra damage using Blacephalon. But you know what? Sometimes you need gusting, and I'm not going to apologize for that, and neither should you. Victini Prism Star is a phenomenal option in this particular deck, because you see, the thing about Victini Prism Star is for 2 fire energy, you do 20 damage for each basic energy in your discard pile, and then you shuffle those cards back into your deck. But remember, with Blacephalon and with Ninetales to a lesser extent, you are just discarding a whole bunch of energy, so you're going to have all your energy in a discard pile, and then you can do a giant attack with Victini. That seems good to me. That seems like a pretty sizable advantage. We got 1 copy of Oricorio. That's the one whereby if you had a Pokemon KO during the previous turn, you get to draw 3 cards. Particularly good in this deck because it's a single prize deck, mostly, where you're going to get a whole bunch of Pokemon KO'd before your opponent wins the game. So that's going to help you out. We've got 1 big Blacephalon, and honestly here, right, it's a one-off. You can Lost Zone any energy on the field, doing 50 damage for each one Lost Zoned. So if you don't have enough energy in your hand, but you do have a bunch on the field, he's got your back. But also you've got a GX attack here, and I love the GX attack. 1 fire energy discard one of your prize cards. If it's an energy, attach it to one of your Pokemon. Cool. The thing here is that you've then got one fewer prize card left to take. So if you got 5 prizes remaining, drop this fire energy, win the game instantly. I cannot be the only one that thinks that sounds like a pretty big advantage. We've then just got one copy of Zacian V, and we're not playing any metal energy, so we're not attacking with it here. It's basically got an ability that lets you draw 3 cards. And on turn 1 of the game especially, it does end your turn, but on turn 1 of the game especially, just being able to draw 3 cards, getting yourself set up is absolutely huge. And there are times on this deck where you don't mind getting a 2-prize Pokemon KO'd, because you got to have free energy on your Blacephalon. So when they KO a 2-prize Pokemon with no energy on, you get to keep your Blacephalon with all the energy on. Sounds pretty good to me, ladies and gentlemen. Sounds pretty good to me. Now, in terms of trainer cards here, I mean, for Pokemon Search, right, we're playing Quick Ball. Quick Ball's all we're really worried about. It lets you get your basics. Your entire deck is basic, so let's not worry about it. One of the bigger things here is just we've got all the fire tricks. We've got Welder, attach 2 energy cards fire from your hand to one of your Pokemon and then draw 3 cards. That's pretty good. We've got Fire Crystal to get 2 energy back from our discard pile. We've got Fiery Flint to get 4 energy out of our deck, though we have to discard 2 cards from our hand. We also do play Energy Retrieval here, which isn't just for fire decks, but it lets you get 2 energy out of your discard pile into your hand. Does exactly the same thing as Fire Crystal, except Fire Crystal gets free energy and Energy Retrieval gets 2. So why are we playing free Energy Retrieval? Because we're already playing 4 Fire Crystal, so that seems pretty sensible. We've also got Heat Factory Prism Star here. Discard a fire energy from your hand, draw 3 cards. It's good for fire decks. We do actually have another stadium here. It's Ultra Space. Just lets you search yourself a Ultra Beast, which is one of your Blacephalon GX or non-GX. There's an argument for playing Giant Half in the deck, but when you're already playing 4 Fiery Flint and all your draw options, we don't really need it. We do have 2 copies of Cynthia, as well as our Welder, and 1 copy of Palpad, so that we can get our supporter cards back in the deck, because 4 Welder isn't actually always enough. Now, in terms of tools, I've already mentioned a skateboard here, but we've also got Lucky Egg. And Lucky Egg's a really fun one. If it's attached to a Pokemon that is KO'd, you draw until you got 7 cards in your hand. But this is one of those decks that plays a larger number of weaker single-prize Pokemon. You are expecting to, well, get a bunch of stuff KO'd. And in the same way you can take advantage of that with Rosa, you can also take advantage of it with Lucky Egg, and that sounds pretty good to me. Now, we also have a copy of Beastbringer here, and this is a one-off because it's not always going to work. Beastbringer, if it's attached to an Ultra Beast, and you KO a Pokemon GX or EX, and you've got exactly 6 prize cards remaining, you take an extra prize. And it's not always going to work. You might be against a Pokemon V, you might not have 6 prizes remaining, etc. But if you do, then you're taking an extra prize, and bearing in mind Blacephalon can basically cheat you a prize of its GX attack, that is making your life a whole lot easier. Given that we've got 3 different types of tools, it makes sense that we play Adventure Bag to go ahead and search them out, and then we've just got 4 copies of Switch. Any deck that plays Jirachi knows that the ability only works if it's in the active, so you need to get Jirachi in and out the active, as well as flicking around attackers sometimes when you're not just relying on Blacephalon. So you know what? It kind of makes sense to play 4 copies of Switch here. In terms of new stuff from Rebel Clash, we basically got Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders Giovanni is the other Gusting as well as Ninetales. It's just a reprint of Lysander, and it's really, really good. Gus up a Pokemon. Simple as that. There aren't really many new cards here from Rebel Clash. We do have Lucky Egg and Zacian that came around in Sword and Shield, but in terms of Rebel Clash, and Energy Retrieval was reprinted, I probably should add. But in terms of new cards, we really are just rocking Boss's Orders. But I know an awful lot of people ask me, Wassy, you bring us a lot of weirder decks. Can we have some updates occasionally of the top decks? And I thought, you know what? Sounds like fun. If these are the kind of videos you're into, if it gets enough heat, if people watch it enough, I can bring you updated lists of other top decks showing you the cards from Rebel Clash which are going to feature in there as well. But for now, I just want to know what you think about this deck, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where you can find out about a whole bunch of games that, well, they don't have Pokemon in, but they're pretty gosh darned awesome regardless. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.